At the beginning of the film, we observe a young boy. Quinn was his name, and he had arrived at the building site with his mother. His mother used to work as a project engineer there. Quinn hands his mother the letter he received from the school administration. Following that, they have a talk. Quinn's mother, on the other hand, returns to work with her co-worker. Where he was standing, someone was wishing Quinn's mother sick. Quinn's mother had given that man the responsibility of moving an underground tube. Quinn tells the man, "We should not speak evil of others because we are afraid of ourselves." And Quinn asks that man, "Do you have any apprehensions about going inside the tunnel?" Hearing it, the man loses his cool and tells Quinn, "Go there if you're braver." Also moving inside the tunnel is Quinn, who takes a torch from the man. When Quinn enters, he comes across a strange surface. As if it were a rock. A few flames fall on Quinn when he touches that surface. When Quinn looks up, he sees a massive dragon. Quinn flees outdoors, horrified, after dragon saliva spills on his face. Quinn's face had been infected as a result of the dragon's saliva. When he returns outside, Quinn informs everyone, including his mother, that there is a dragon in that tunnel. His mother believes this, but the rest of the world does not believe him. And those folks enter the tunnel, despite Quinn's warning. And that dragon, with his jaws full of fire, destroys those individuals. The flames of fire had begun to emerge from the tunnel at this point. Quinn and his mother were in attendance. Quinn walks to the lift with his mother. Because they desired to go on the ground surface using lift. Dragon, on the other hand, flies high with his massive wings. It also targets the lift where Quinn and his mother were. Quinn is still safe from the dragon's onslaught here. His mother, on the other hand, is gasping for air. It was 2010, according to the movie's plot, when this dragon arrived from nowhere. Following this incident, dragons of this type were spotted all over the world. And over the course of 10 years, these dragons caused significant damage to the world. Despite the fact that the human population had plummeted to dangerously low levels. Despite the hardships, the number of dragons had not reduced. The character Quinn appears in the film several years later. Who had matured. Surprisingly, he was still safe from the dragon's attack. The survivors were stranded in London due to the low population. All of these folks were led by Quinn. Those who had survived had constructed a small underground metropolis. Those folks used to hide from the dragons where they used to live. They used to all live together and plotted to kill the dragon. When it was necessary to bring food from the field, they would move outside. Alternatively, they were forced to work in the fields. Quinn knows here as their partner Eddie is departing their location. Quinn intervenes because he does not want that man to leave the area and become a target for the dragons. But Eddie was eager to move outdoors from this spot at any cost. Because when he arrived in this domain, he had lost his wife and son. Because there was a limited amount of food available. He didn't want to leave the rest of his family behind. As a result, he was departing to get the food. But Quinn tells him that they won't be able to take the food until the crops are fully ripe. And until then, we'll have to rely on a limited supply of food. The following morning, it is discovered that Eddie has stolen Quinn's Jeep keys. And he, along with a few others, had quietly exited that domain. The underground area that they had constructed. As a result, no dragon may choose them as its prey. As soon as they enter the field, the security system is notified. Several dragons have reached this location. As a result of the arrival of the dragons in fields, danger sirens begin to sound in the field and domain. Their sound used to indicate that danger was approaching. While Quinn is preparing his crew to battle the dragons, he discovers that Eddie has violated the domain's boundaries. Quinn became agitated, believing that they had gone outdoors without his consent. And Quinn was uninterested in defending them. It was Quinn's responsibility as a leader to save those individuals. As a result, he sets off on this errand to the fields. When he gets there, he starts a fire in the field's vicinity. As a result, the dragons may not see them. In this way, their lives may be jeopardized. In addition, their entire supply of food might be destroyed in this manner. When Eddie and his companions see the fire in their surroundings, They believe it was started by the dragons. They had finally realized that no one could save them here. Simultaneously, Quinn appears and forces them to sit in his truck while saving them. In the meantime, a youngster dies while Quinn drives them to his territory in the truck. Quinn was likewise very saddened by the death of that child as he approached the domain. He was Eddie's son, and it was also Eddie's fault, thus he was losing his cool. This is where the scene comes to a close. The next morning, a large number of vehicles come to a halt near their location. And the caravan's leader, Van Zan, exits a jeep there. Who tells the security guards, "We'd like to meet your commander here." This is the reason, and Quinn is the name given to him. Quinn is informed by Van Zan that we are the dragon hunters. It indicates that we go out in search of dragons. Our numerous companions met their end last time while pursuing the dragons, he also reveals here. Many of our weapons have been tainted with it as well. That man tells Quinn, "It is for this reason that we seek sanctuary in your shelter. As a result, we'll be able to combat the dragons while also restoring our weapons." To prove his story is true, that man shows an arrow to Quinn, which he had pulled from the dragon's mouth after hunting it. Quinn begins to believe in him after seeing it, and he lets him stay in their neighborhood. In this group, Quinn meets a girl named Alex, who was the pilot of the helicopter used by this group. Quinn's men inquire, "How do you hunt the dragons?" "We pursue such dragons while jumping out of aircraft," they reveal. Security personnel were observed detecting as dragons arrived here again in the next shot. The domain's danger alarms are activated by security personnel. All of the people in this area will be alerted as a result of this. Along with Quinn's troops, other people had gone to hunt the dragons. The motorbike is used by 3 members of this group to get there. They had a forewarning that the dragons would be approaching. They also placed a machine similar to the radar there. That mechanism was made up of 3 pieces. And they had to set up that machine in such a way that they could make a triangle shape by arranging them in this manner. They couldn't carry out their strategy until the machine was properly set up. 2 bikers are seen here putting the machine in its right spot. However, one of the riders collapses before completing the mission. And it's there that he runs out of breath. That team leader, on the other hand, was attempting to contact the 3rd member. Quinn approaches the deceased man at the same time. And he communicates with Van Zan via the dead man's walkie-talkie. How and where had he positioned the 3rd radar, Van Zan directs him. And, following Van Zan's instructions, Quinn placed that machine in its right location. Now Alex may be seen in the air, saying to a companion, "Jump from here." As a result, he may become dragon food. The remaining hunters may be able to capture the dragons. And they do the same thing. One of the hunters now leaps from the chopper. The dragon is about to attack him, so he flees while opening his parachute. While the remaining 2 hunters make every effort to capture it. And they were successful. However, that dragon moved backwards, allowing him to escape the trap. He also consumes one of the males. The other man perished as a result of his fall. On the other hand, Van Zan can be seen looking at a dragon on a computer screen. "Come down from the mountain," he says to Quinn here. "Because the dragon is approaching you. And I've got to go after that dragon." On that man's remark, Quinn was retreating. As Quinn returned, that dragon was also chasing him. And that dragon is being hunted by the other party leader. Quinn and his pals are ecstatic since they've just killed a dragon. Van Zan, on the other hand, was dissatisfied since he had lost his 3 members. Here, Van Zan discloses his true plan to Quinn. "According to our research, there are only female dragons in the world," says Van Zan to Quinn. "In London, there is only one male dragon. If we chase the male dragon, we will exterminate all dragons. Other dragons will not be bred either." The goal of Van Zan was to inform Quinn of a plan so that he might allow his team members to join their organization. However, Quinn does not agree with him because doing so may result in the deaths of his squad members. Hearing Quinn's protest, Van Zan draws closer to them. And he explains to them as he says it, "If we hunted all those dragons, we'd be able to live independently beneath this huge sky in no time. there will be no need to live in dread in secret. Quinn is well aware that Van Zan is inciting his troops. Then Quinn becomes enraged, and a struggle ensues between them. In this fight, Van Zan was more powerful than Quinn, hence he easily defeated Quinn. As a result, he was severely injured. Alex, Van Zan's companion, felt awful for Quinn here, so she gave him the medicine for his bodily wounds. At the film's conclusion, it is revealed that the male dragon had finally entered their territory. Before they hunted it, that dragon started a fire in their region. Everything has perished as a result of this. The children are rescued by Quinn and Van Zan here. Along with the men of Quinn, Van Zan's team members meet their end. Many individuals had died as a result of Van Zan's blunder and haste. So he apologizes to Quinn here, and Quinn also wished for everyone's safety. And he didn't want to, because that colossal dragon might show up again. Quinn and the others resolve to face the dragon together after reaching an agreement with Van Zan. Quinn now delegated control of his domain to his personal assistant. And he tells him, "You are responsible for the people's and the area's safety." And he, along with Van Zan, travels to kill the dragons. When they arrive in the heart of London, they see a swarm of dragons, which are devouring one another after having victimized them. They were watching it when a male dragon appeared. Seeing that, all small dragons are afraid. They then depart from that location. It was also a favorable sign for Quinn and Van Zan, because they couldn't afford to squander any of their energy on those little dragons. They only had one mission now, to hunt down this male dragon. But there was a problem: how would they get to that male dragon? What will they use to entice the dragon to them? Because of his understanding of London, Quinn is able to solve the problem. Quinn leads Van Zan to a tower and then falls himself. Alex fulfills her role as a dragon trap here. And she leaps in front of it. As that dragon prepares to devour Alex, Van Zan places a bomb in its mouth. However, the explosive is not completely placed in its mouth. That dragon is not harmed, but it does grow aggressive. And it moves forward to confront Van Zan. But Van Zan is unconcerned, leaping over the dragon with his axe in hand. Unfortunately, he is unable to hunt the dragon, and the dragon instead eats him. Now the dragon is staring at Quinn. It then goes on to make him a victim. And Quinn saves himself by detonating the bomb in the creature's mouth. As a result, that dragon's reign has come to an end. The scene fades out, and a scene from a few months later appears. In London, not a single dragon had survived. And they lived their lives fearlessly under this great sky. Quinn and Alex, two survivors from that day, were spotted with each other. And the movie ends with this scene. Thank you for watching.